Good morning. My name is Will,
And I'm Matthew.
and we're here to talk to you about prejudice and the dangers it can have on our society and how to stop this. So, prejudice is, as stated on Google, a preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. This would mean it's not based on a fact, and these tend to be false and hurtful against one group so that we may act differently upon them.
Prejudice is mostly considered individual level racism. While there can be examples of it being systemic, it's mostly individual because it's about the thoughts one person has towards another group of people. Prejudice can be connected to racial literacy terms like stereotypes and discrimination, because the stereotypes shown in the media can lead to somebody having these preconceived opinions or thoughts, which is prejudice. And that prejudice can lead to somebody taking action on those thoughts, which would then be discrimination.
The dangers of prejudice would be that it supports the action that is discriminatory against other people. Prejudice is supported by and manifested in today's society by media and many other things that might go to children, and these children will often think that that's okay to say, and when in reality it's not. This can be exampled by a comic book might display an African American as not equal to us, and saying an Asian is not good at driving or something like that. These prejudices might go into children's head, and they might express these and go and not know what is real and what is not. Another would be dividing the target group from the Asian group. This would be that it would separate the society and have one group discriminating against the other and having prejudices against them. Another one would be, for an example in real world, is a lady not wanting to get treatment from an African American doctor because she simply thinks that he's not qualified for it when he attended the same and had the same type of schooling as anyone else. A third one is prejudice might make people more willing to pass laws or do things that are discriminatory against the target group. So this could be by passing a law that takes the rights of African Americans because simply they are too dangerous or something like that, and that would not be right.
Along with finding out why prejudice exists and the dangers of it, researchers have also explored a few different solutions to reduce and even eliminate prejudice. One solution is to train people to become more empathetic. That will put people in other people's situations, which will then enable them to find out how they will react and better understand other people's actions. Another solution is making people aware of the inconsistencies in their own beliefs. This means that making people realize how false their preconceived opinions are, and make them realize that there really is no fact or experience behind the prejudice.
Education would be important because it will teach us what prejudice is and how to stray away from them. It would also teach us to use reasoning behind statements and not to believe what everyone says. Courses such as African American history teach us to not fall into what is known as a single story. A single story is a single depiction, description, or story of a person or group. This can be used, for example, for African American people. Some people think their story starts with slavery, but in reality, there's so much more behind that. It would also makes us look at other people without prejudice and teaching us what prejudice is, so that we will not fall into it. So now that you know what prejudice is and how it affects us and how it can cause discriminatory events and thus not making us any more better than what we were before, we hope that you can take what you learned today and you will use that to end prejudice and racism that is occurring today. Thank you and goodbye.